Sweden's CV90 infantry fighting vehicle has quietly become one of Europe's most successful armored platforms, not because it is the cheapest, nor because it is the most advanced, but because it sits at the intersection of industrial pragmatism, strategic necessity, and political logic. In the aftermath of Russia's war in Ukraine, when European states scrambled to rearm, the CV90 suddenly emerged as a bestseller. Understanding why this Swedish design, born in the 1990s, has managed to secure billions of euros in contracts across NATO allies tells us something about how small states can play outsized roles in the European defense economy. If you find this kind of in-depth analysis valuable, consider subscribing so we can keep producing content like this. The numbers alone are striking. Slovakia recently signed a contract worth around 1.6 billion euros for 152 CV90 Mark IV vehicles, with a significant portion of assembly to take place domestically. The Czech Republic followed with an even larger order, worth more than 2 billion euros, for 246 units. Lithuania already operates 91 CV90s and is considering further expansion. Ukraine, through international aid, has received over 50 CV90s that have gone straight into combat against Russian forces. In total, production has exceeded 1,300 vehicles across more than 9 countries, making it one of the most widespread tracked IFVs in NATO. This level of penetration is not accidental. In the competitive European armored vehicle market, the CV90 has beaten formidable rivals. Germany's KF-41 Lynx is newer, arguably more advanced, but also significantly more expensive and has yet to secure a broad user base. The ASCOD, developed by Austria and Spain, offers a cheaper alternative, but lacks both the proven track record and the political momentum that comes with being deployed in high-intensity conflict. The CV90, by contrast, is combat-proven, adaptable to multiple roles, and carries a balance between cost, capability, and political palatability. Part of the appeal lies in flexibility. The CV90 can be fitted with turrets ranging from 30 to 40 mm, can mount anti-tank guided missiles like Spike, and in some prototypes, even a 120 mm cannon for direct fire support. This adaptability allows countries to tailor the platform to their specific doctrines without stepping outside the NATO standards for logistics and interoperability. For smaller or medium-sized states, that flexibility matters far more than chasing the very cutting edge of armored warfare. Yet what really explains its success is the industrial and political strategy behind it. Saab and BAE Systems Hägglunds have mastered the art of offering local content. Contracts with Slovakia and the Czech Republic were not just about buying a vehicle, they were about creating jobs in local factories, transferring technology, and embedding the CV90 into the political economy of those states. When parliaments debate defense spending, it is much easier to justify billions of euros if those billions are also creating domestic industrial capacity. This is where Sweden, despite being a relatively small economy, has played the game skillfully. Unlike the United States, which can often sell at scale, or Germany, which pushes highly advanced but costly solutions, Sweden offers a middle path. High-quality systems, proven in service, combined with generous industrial offsets. For Central and Eastern European states that are desperate to modernize quickly while also building up their defense industries, this combination is close to ideal. There is also a NATO logic at work. The spread of the CV90 across multiple Eastern European armies is creating a degree of standardization. Shared platforms simplify logistics, maintenance, and training pipelines. That makes NATO forces more interoperable and reduces the risk of fragmentation where each country pursues entirely different solutions. From the perspective of alliance cohesion, the rise of the CV90 is not just a Swedish success story, it is a NATO asset. Ukraine's use of the CV90 is perhaps the most powerful advertisement of all. Dozens of these vehicles are already fighting on the Eastern Front, facing Russian artillery, drones, and mines. Every video clip, every after-action report that shows CV90 surviving or performing well becomes de facto marketing material. It is not Saab or BAE writing glossy brochures. It is combat reality demonstrating the platform's value. That is something no amount of promotional spending can replicate. Beyond contracts and battlefield performance, the CV90 program has also had a significant economic and industrial impact within Sweden itself. BAE Systems Hägglunds, the company that produces the CV90, is located in Örnsköldsvik in northern Sweden, a town of fewer than 35,000 people. The factory has become one of the region's largest employers, sustaining thousands of direct and indirect jobs. Every new export order not only secures long-term employment, but also injects capital into Sweden's high-tech manufacturing base. This matters politically because defense spending at home is often scrutinized as money taken away from social programs. By turning military production into an export engine, Sweden has reframed it as an economic multiplier. This is also why Stockholm is determined to keep the CV90 line competitive. If the vehicle continues to win orders in Central Europe, it secures not only Sweden's defense credibility, but also its position as a reliable supplier in NATO's industrial chain. Germany can push the KF-41 Lynx, but without proven combat history, and without the same willingness to share production, it faces political resistance. The CV90 is, in a sense, a compromise, advanced enough to be credible, but politically flexible enough to satisfy both buyers and their domestic constituencies. Of course, challenges remain. The CV90 is not immune to losses, and it is not cheap. Though less expensive than some rivals, costs are still substantial. Furthermore, as wealthier NATO states, particularly in Western Europe, seek to buy into the latest generation of armored vehicles, the KF-41 Lynx and even future Franco-German main ground combat system programs may eventually eclipse it. The real question is whether the CV90 can remain the gold standard for NATO's infantry fighting vehicles over the next 2 decades, or whether it will be remembered as the platform of a specific era of rapid rearmament. From a Perron-style perspective, the lesson here is not just about armor and steel. It is about how small and medium states can use industrial policy, strategic positioning, and timing to turn national products into alliance standards. Sweden may not be a superpower, but by selling CV90s across Europe, it has inserted itself into the very backbone of NATO ground forces. That is not just a military victory, it is a political one. If you'd like to see more deep dives on Nordic defense and Sweden's role in NATO, supporting this channel by subscribing or sharing means a lot and helps us continue this work.